Afcon Predictions in
Group A. Wow, this is actually a really big test for Morocco as hosts. Can they finally do it? Though, I do see Morocco topping the group in first, Comoros coming in second, Mali in third being one of the best third place teams, and then Zambia bottom in fourth. Yes, this will be a real big test for Morocco, but in the group stages of Afcons, they tend to do pretty well. So that's why I think they'll do all right in this group stage, though they will be tested. Comoros over Mali, this was really a difficult one to predict. But Mali under new management, they're kind of going through a transition a bit as well. And Comoros are seriously on the rise. And the thing with Comoros is they tend to perform well against teams of a higher caliber. Like, they know how to punch above their weight. They're quite comfortable off the ball. They know how to counter-attack really well. And I think that's where Mali could get kind of dumbfounded against Comoros. But I think they, have more than enough quality to progress out the group. And Zambia fourth, could be a shock, but Zambia are really not the team they used to be a few years ago. And I can see them flopping again this Afcon. They're just such a different team. And the fact that Zambia were a pot 3 team in a 24-team Afcon draw says a lot, really, where they are at the moment. Group B. I see this group being much tighter than people anticipate, though I do see Egypt topping the group in first, Angola coming in second, South Africa in third being one of the best third place teams to progress out the group stage, and then Zimbabwe bottom at fourth. Yeah, I see there being a lot of draws in this group, and the reason I put Egypt top is merely goal difference it could really come down to. I see Egypt scoring the most goals in this group. Like I said, I see there being many draws, and I feel like Zimbabwe unfortunately will lose all their games, potentially nick a draw against South Africa or something like that, but difficult one to predict. But Angola are good on the counter-attack, and maybe they could, catch out Egypt, South Africa on the counter-attack really well and get those important points. Group C, I see Nigeria topping the group in first, Tunisia coming in second, Tanzania in third, and Uganda in fourth. The most interesting thing in this group is probably the East African Community Derby, Swahili Derby, to be honest, in this group. Otherwise, this is looking like a really skewed and predictable group. Tunisia got really let off in this group, considering they were in pot 2. Really lucky for Tunisia. This is the type of group where I could see it being like 9 points Nigeria, 6 points Tunisia, and then Tanzania and Uganda drawing actually, and none of them progressing out of the group. They are some of the weakest teams in this Afcon, and I do see them both conceding quite a lot of goals. And Nigeria is the best team in this group. That's why I see them topping it. Group D, I see Benin topping the group in first, Senegal coming in second, Dr. Congo in third, and Botswana bottom in fourth. Yes, my predictions are utterly surprising, but as we know, Afcons are full of surprises, and especially the last one, there's utter surprises. And even if this group looks very predictable, I do predict a surprise. And the reason I say this is because Senegal have a new manager, Pape Thiaw, and Senegal are going through a transition. Yes, they still have the squad depth and quality, but they're still in this kind of awkward transition where some of their players are beyond their peaks, but they've still got players coming through. And that's why I do really see them having a slow start to this tournament. And Benin, you know what? They're actually doing well under Raw, and I feel like they're connecting, they're gelling well, and I feel like they're coming towards their peak, this Benin squad. Whereas, on the other hand, Dr. Congo, I don't see them progressing out of the group, as I genuinely feel they're way beyond their peak. They're a very aging squad. The last Afcon, was a really good tournament for them, and I don't see them matching anywhere near, and to be honest, I could see them flopping this tournament. Botswana, I think it's the lack of a tournament experience this Botswana squad will have that will be the difference. I don't see them getting hammered though. I see them being competitive, but I don't know if I see them picking up points. Group P, for me, this is definitely the weakest group this Afcon. Though I do see Burkina Faso topping the group in first, Sudan coming in second, Algeria coming in third, but progressing out of the group, being one of the best third place teams, and then Equatorial Guinea bottom in fourth. Yes, surprise with these predictions. I see there being a lot of draws in this group, that's why. And let's be honest, Algeria have exited the group stage the last two Afcons. I don't see them, automatically click and doing amazing. This Algerian squad, is not the best we've seen in years, but, they've still got some tournament experience. I don't see them flopping again. But Sudan is a team to not mess with now. They're actually a competitive team in Africa. They're on the rise under Kwesi Appiah. They're looking really solid right now. And I see them doing, well for themselves this AFCON. And Burkina Faso, I see them topping the group because out of all the other teams in this group, that squad is the most experienced and kind of all-round quality squad within this group E. And Equatorial Guinea, yes, they've been, they've had success of recent and that, but they are an aging squad. They are beyond their peak. They've had some issues, kind of with FIFA and other kind of football FA kind of stuff. And I do see them flopping this tournament, to be honest. And I think this tournament will be a big, turning point for Equatorial Guinean football. Group F, another quite skewed group, but I guess I don't really think there's a group of death this AFCON, but maybe this would be the group of death. Anyway, I see Cameroon topping the group in first, Cote d'Ivoire coming in second, Gabon coming in third, but progressing out of the group as one of the best third place teams, and then Mozambique bottom in fourth. You've got to remember, Cote d'Ivoire, even the last AFCON when they won, had an awful start. They were very lucky to progress out of the group, to be honest. And I see them, again, having another slow start to the tournament. Whereas on the other hand, under Marc Brie, Cameroon are looking pretty solid, to be honest. I can see them having a good quick start to this AFCON, hence them topping the group. And Gabon, definitely has enough to challenge Cote d'Ivoire and Cameroon and to win against Mozambique. And I know Mozambique had a really good AFCON for them, the last AFCON, but I don't see them repeating such a good feat again. And the last AFCON group they were in, I feel like the other teams in the group were, particularly bad as well, that tournament. This is the type of group where I could see it being like 9 points Cameroon, 6 points Cote d'Ivoire, 3 points Gabon, and then 0 points Mozambique. On to the round of 16. The first game that would be played, if my predictions are correct, is Benin-Gabon. Wow. One of these teams would have to go to the quarterfinals. Insane stuff. This is such an evenly matched game. Really could go either way. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to go with Benin to win on penalties. Second game, Comoros-Tunisia. Wow, these teams met in the qualifiers for this AFCON and Comoros did beat them. And I think Tunisia have been really lucky with the draw, and even to get Comoros, if they do in this next round, I see them losing. I see their luck running out. I see Comoros reaching their first quarterfinals. Next game would be Morocco-Algeria. Wow. Berber derby. This is massive for a round of 16 game. And Morocco, it's usually these kind of knockout games. Morocco don't do well in AFCONs, but with them being hosts, I do see them winning. I see them kind of overcoming this, challenge they've really been facing. And Algeria, this squad's got a long way till they're their best anyway for Algeria. So I see Morocco edging Algeria. Difficult game though. Angola, Cote d'Ivoire. I'm going to say Cote d'Ivoire to edge Angola. I really would want Angola, but Cote d'Ivoire are definitely familiar with the knockout football, and I can imagine them, jammily squeezing their way past Angola. Egypt, Mali. I see Egypt winning this game. Not comfortably though. I could imagine Mali really frustrating Egypt, but not posing a genuine threat. So I see Egypt winning this game within 90 minutes, but maybe only like a 1-0 type of score. Next, Nigeria, South Africa. Wow, a repeat of the semi-finals in the last AFCON, which went to penalties. So close game. I see it being a very close game again. I'm going to go with South Africa getting their revenge against Nigeria and winning this tie. I feel like Eric Shell might just overthink it tactically. South Africa are quite comfortable off the ball actually as well, and I can see them exploiting like Nigeria's possession-based game, which I'm not too sure how that will look under Eric Shell. Burkina Faso, Senegal. I see Senegal edging and winning this tie. Burkina Faso can never perform well against Senegal for whatever reason, quite a bogey team. It's one of those games I could imagine where Burkina Faso actually have the better chances, but then Senegal kind of edgily, jammily get some like penalty in the last 10 minutes and squeezing through. Last one of this round, Cameroon, Sudan. I see Cameroon relatively comfortably beating Sudan. I feel like Sudan would have done amazing getting out of the group stage of an Afcon anyway, but knockout football against a top African team, I feel like is a stretch too far for Sudan. On to the quarterfinals, Benin, Comoros. Oh my, wow, this means one of these teams would have to go to the semi-finals. This is what I mean about surprises in Afcons, and I genuinely could see this happening. Oof. Nah, they're really evenly balanced teams, really could go either way, but without overthinking too much, I'm going to go with Comoros winning this tie, reaching a semi-finals of an Afcon. Insane stuff in their second appearance. The reason I'm going to go with this is because I genuinely feel like Comoros, this current squad, are peaking, and it is a golden generation for Comoros. And you'll see in a later video of mine how much I rate Comoros actually. Second quarterfinal, Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire. Wow, this literally would be the biggest quarterfinal. Hosts, a lot of expectation, Morocco, and then defending champions. Woo, what a beast of a game. I'm going to go with Morocco though. Yes, it is these types of like knockout Afcon games. We've seen time and time again Morocco flopping, but especially if I predict correctly, Morocco winning that game against Algeria, a derby win at home, you know, I can really feel that would be big momentum, big morale boost for them. And Cote d'Ivoire are not unbeatable. You've got to remember in the last Afcon, they rode a lot of luck and they just, you know, had some good momentum in the knockout stages, to be honest. And funnily enough, it's one of those type of games where I feel like Morocco could actually dominate really well and then maybe even higher expectations, you know, land on them. Next game, South Africa, Senegal. I see Senegal edging South Africa. I actually think this game will be closer than people realise, but Senegal's overall quality, depth in squad, I think will prevail over South Africa. Last quarterfinal, Egypt, Cameroon. Whew, I swear these teams play each other so much at the Afcons. It's going to be a really tense game. I could imagine many cards coming out, but I'm going to go with Egypt edging Cameroon, winning this tie. I think it's the attack. I think that's really the difference. Egypt's attack is better than Cameroon's, to be honest. On to the semi-final. Comoros, Egypt. I do see Egypt winning this tie. Very skewed semi-final, unfortunate for Comoros. This is just a stretch way too far for Comoros. I mean, getting to a semi-final in only a second Afcon, that is amazing anyway. I just feel like they would have been too gassed out from the rest of the tournament. What's particularly interesting if this happens, would Egypt rest players in this game for the final? Like, get a bit arrogant or something. And, well, it's bad preparation anyway for a final. The other semi-final, Senegal, Morocco. The two highest ranked nations in Africa, and what people would say are the best teams in Africa on paper. I'm going to go with Morocco winning this tie. I feel like Morocco will finally have, you know, a good Afcon this time round. We'll be on good momentum, have some morale boosting victories this tournament. And Senegal, even though, you know, getting to the semi-final is still a great feat, I feel like it'll be one of those tournaments where they would have never properly clicked, and it would have only been, you know, say against Morocco where they face a real title contender type of team and then, you know, just not do it and kind of flop, to be honest. Kind of similar to like France in the 2024 Euros, where they got far, but they never really, you know, played their best and were clicking. I could picture something like that for Senegal. Third match plays, Comoros, Senegal. I'm going to go with Senegal winning this tie. I feel like Comoros, again, will just be way too tired from the whole tournament. And what point do they have to prove? But I feel like Senegal will have a point to prove, really want that medal and actually, care more than Comoros about this fixture. If my predictions are correct, this would leave us with Morocco versus Egypt as the Afcon final. A Maghreb derby of a final in an Afcon hosted in a Maghreb country. Woo! That's going to be massive. Wow. And another host reaching the finals in Morocco. Woo! Whoa, the expectations on both teams. This will be so lit. Actually, it could be a really cagey game. And both teams could, it could be actually a really cagey game. Either way, I do see cards coming out. Really close call. I'm actually going to go with Egypt winning the 2025 Afcon. You know what? I think most of it will be Morocco bottling it. Like, yes, I spoke about them having a good tournament, the momentum, but the final, the real pinnacle, especially after their great semi-final run to the last World Cup. High expectations. I do see them bottling it, and I do see Egypt, winning, and Mo Salah finally, winning, something with Egypt. I mean, both Morocco and Egypt, in my genuine opinion, are the most difficult teams to beat in Africa at the moment. They've both shown, they can really come back in games and are really stern teams, but I think it's more about Morocco bottling the final and then Egypt winning. So there you have my early predictions for the 2025 Afcon. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Which teams do you think will surprise this Afcon? And of course, who do you think will win the Afcon this time round? And as always, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.